Welcome to the Kindness Chronicles, where once again we hope to inject the world with a dose of the Minnesota kindness that it desperately needs. We're trying something new. We are on camera, not super comfortable with how huge I look on camera. There's
But
something
the chair looks really comfortable.
The chair is comfortable. I'll give you that.
This is very indicative of the actual experience we have down here. So it's cool.
I have to acknowledge Jeff has spent probably his entire weekend here setting this up. Oh, my God. That is a close-up picture. Is that how my hair looks? Good Lord.
Let's remember it's not about what we look like. It's about what we're talking about. It's about the kindness. Oh, my God. You're right.
Okay, see?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is not very professional, but that's okay.
That's right.
We're going to do what we usually do, and we're going to talk about some things that are important to the community. Today happens to be Veterans Day.
Yeah.
And we have a special guest, one of my favorite veterans in the world, and I'll introduce you to him in just a second. But we got Steve Brown here with us. We got the mega producer in the background there. Hello. Hi, Jeff.
How are you?
Jeff and I almost went to blows setting this sucker up today, but we're all
There's
good now.
There's a lot of tension
we're
about this gear.
Now.
There's a lot of stuff that goes into it. Production takes a lot.
Production takes a lot.
And we hugged it out, and I'm new to all this, so thanks for the bear hug,
Yeah,
John.
It was very uncomfortable. But it is Veterans Day, and we want to do a special Veterans Day podcast. And I would like to bring into the program one of the people that I admire more than just about anybody in the world. Couldn't be more proud of this guy. He happens to be my cousin, Andrew Melander. Andrew, are you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
We can hear you loud and clear.
Welcome to the podcast,
Okay.
Andrew.
Welcome to the Kindness Chronicles.
Thanks, guys.
My cousin Andrew, let me just tell you a little bit about my cousin Andrew. So back when Andrew was probably 3 or 4 years old, I used to take him and his brother John out to St. Thomas with me as a vehicle for attracting girls. They were these two cute little guys, and Andrew and John were just the perfect bait for picking up girls. I didn't particularly enjoy spending time with those two guys.
Like bringing a puppy or something, right? That's how you thought of it?
So
shameful
Andrew
job.
had this, he was this little towhead, cute as can be. He was short at that point. Now he's about 6'6", so you can't use him for the same purposes. But anyway, Andrew and his brother John and their sister Lily happened to be the children of my godfather, Uncle Harry, who we've had on the podcast in the past.
Friend of the pod.
Yeah, also very much a hero of mine, and his wife Mary, who is just a lovely person. But Andrew is in the military, and I just want to take it back to Andrew. How did you decide that this is something that you wanted to do? Was it something that you discovered in high school? Can you just go back and kind of describe why it was that you decided to become a person for the military?
Yeah, I think I knew early on that I wanted to be a part of the military. Grandpa Harry served in the Army Air Corps during World War II, and then on my mom's side, her father served in Korea and World War II as an infantry officer, artillery officer, supply officer, and
he was a colonel.
Brother David, he was a major.
Okay.
Yeah, and her brother was killed in Vietnam. He was an infantry officer, and so
your mom's brother.
Yep.
So you decided that with that family heritage, I apparently was not bit by that bug. Partially due to cowardice. That's probably the most.
You had a
important.
different set of gifts to bring the world.
That's
nice.
Thank you, Jeff. We're going to hug that one out. I had different gifts. That's exactly right. But so you decided as a young man that you wanted to go into the military, and you happened to get an appointment to the Naval Academy.
Yep. After trying a couple times to get in. Academically, I wasn't the greatest. I think I've been diagnosed with ADD, and there's some benefits to that, but also some, things that aren't great. But I ended up going to Maine Maritime for a year, and
that's right.
Did well enough. Yep.
So you ended up at the Naval Academy. What was your goal there? What was your objective when you went to the Naval Academy?
I think initially, I wanted to be a pilot. That was my goal, growing up watching Top Gun and that stuff. But then when Iraq and Afghanistan kicked off, I remember vividly my senior year. I remember Fallujah, November of 2004, watching the Marines on the ground. It's like, all right, I want to be on the ground doing that. And so I ended up service selecting the Marine Corps.
It also probably didn't help that you were about 6'6". Stuffing you into a cockpit probably wasn't going to be a very comfortable adventure for you. Is there a height limit?
There is. So yeah, that's probably a good point too. It's like I could have flown like helicopters or like rotary wing, like not rotary wing, but like C-130s. But when it came to like the ejection seats, my femurs were too long, so I was going to be disqualified to be a fighter pilot if I could even make it to that point.
Wow.
So speaking of long femurs, this is a fun story. When Andrew, were you a sophomore when you ran the Marine Marathon?
No, I was at the basic school in Quantico, Virginia, and it was 2005. So right after I got out of the Naval Academy, I went to the basic school down in Quantico.
And what made you decide to run the Marine Marathon, having never run a marathon before?
Do you really want to know the story?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm just, come on.
We do, Andrew.
So every second lieutenant has to support that's at the basic school, has to support the Marine Corps Marathon. And they had to wake up at like 2 a.m. to go support it. And they're like till 6 p.m. Or I could like run it and it was free. I didn't have to pay an entrance fee. And I could wake up at like 5, run it, and then be done. So I'm like, I'll just go run this marathon.
And you had never run a marathon before?
No.
So, guys, never run a marathon before. And
how old were you about, Andrew? About what age?
I was 23.
23, okay.
23 years old. Now, I will tell you that Andrew, and I'm sure we'll have a picture of him up on the on our social posts.
Absolutely.
But Andrew, let me describe Andrew for you.
Sounds like a tall gentleman.
He's very tall.
Drink of water.
He was a rower. He was the captain of the rowing team, the crew team at the Naval Academy. How did you become a rower anyways? You weren't a rower in high school.
No, it's, I mean, you know, athletically I did a lot of sports, but I was never like really good at anything. I was pretty average.
You're a skier, good skier.
So, yeah. And so every freshman that goes through the Naval Academy at Plebe Summer, and like one day they send everyone to the boathouse and you have to pull 500 meters on the ergometer. And they have a certain time, like if you pull fast enough, they try to recruit you. And so that's how I got into rowing.
And quite successful rowing. Where did your rowing career take you? I think this is kind of fun.
Yeah, so I did some like development camps when I was at the Naval Academy with the U.S. team, and then you know, did my, I don't know, was it 5.5 years in the Marine Corps, and I was 28, and I wanted to, you know, I was fast enough, or I wanted to see like what I was capable of. So I ended up rowing with the U.S. team, trying to make the 2012 Olympics from 10 to 12. Didn't make the Olympics, but it was a fun experience for me.
Wow.
Yeah, that's very cool. So Andrew, let's just say Andrew is jacked. And when Andrew came back home one summer, our neighbor Denise McCormick called my wife and said, "Oh my God, this guy just ran by my house with no shirt on." And Becky, being the pervert that she is, she got on her bike and drove down Elm Street, and she got down to the bottom. She went to go see what this guy looked like.
Wow.
And all of a sudden she realizes it's cousin Andrew that she's stalking. So thanks for that.
She is a pervert.
Well, you know, we're not going to go there. I guess I went there.
You said it.
Hey, I thought this podcast was about kindness.
Yeah, we got off track.
So we're gonna get. This is a do as I say, not as I do podcast, Andrew.
Okay.
So Andrew, so you tell us about your time in the Marine Corps.
Yeah, so I got stationed out in 29 Palms, California. Every Marine officer has to go through something called the basic school, generally to like understand what it means to be like a provisional rifle platoon commander. So it's a 6-month-long course. After you're done with the course, you select your military occupation specialty, and it's based on ranking within TBS. And like my number one was infantry. I ended up getting it, and then you do 3 more months of training in Quantico, and you go to like 29 Palms, and some guys go to Bridgeport. And then I got stationed out in 29 Palms, and ended up doing 3 deployments with 2nd Battalion, 7th Marines. I did 2 to Iraq, 1 in the general vicinity, from '07 to late '07, like around Fallujah, a place called Zidon. And then I volunteered to go back 3 months later because I just really enjoyed my experience over there. It's a roller coaster ride, but ended up deploying over towards the Syrian border in a place called Rawa.
So, and what was your job there?
The first deployment, I was a rifle platoon commander.
What does that mean?
Second deployment, so, we had more people than this, but like the rifle platoon in the Marine Corps task organized, you have the platoon commander, a platoon sergeant, and then 3 squads. So generally it's like 42 guys, but because of what you're doing, like we plussed up quite a bit. And I think at one point there's maybe 60 of us. It's funny looking back on that stuff, like being a 23-year-old guy, I think I was the 3rd oldest guy in the platoon. My platoon sergeant is 29, and one of my squad leaders is like 6 months older. But it's pretty neat, like how the Marine Corps trains you, like being that young. Most of the guys were like 17 to 21 years old.
Wow.
Babies.
Just absolutely. So so you spent some time over in Iraq. You probably saw some stuff that was a little tough on the noggin.
Yeah.
How did you decide that you were going to be done with the Marine Corps after you did that?
I think that's a long story. Like I ended up doing a 3rd deployment. We went to the South Pacific, and we were slated to go to Afghanistan, and I took something called Marine Special Operations selection, and I got selected. So I had orders to Lejeune, but my battalion's commander said we're going to Afghanistan, and he wanted me to be the battalion JTAC, so like close air support. And I had to do something called career designation, and I thought I could get my way back to MARSOC.
What's MARSOC?
Doing Marine Special Operations Command.
Okay.
And so I had a really good time. Like I ended up being the Scout Sniper Platoon Commander. We went to like Philippines, Singapore, Thailand, Okinawa, Mount Fuji, Camp Fuji.
I went to Wilmer recently. Does Wilmer? That's different.
You were in Western Minnesota.
I was in Western Minnesota today, but that's different. So, as I understand it, you spent this time in the Marine Corps. You mentioned that something about a sniper patrol, sniper something. I hear sniper and I think of Chris Kyle.
Yeah. That was a good movie too, American Sniper.
What did you think of the Chris Kyle movie, just curiously?
I think it was good. Like being a scout sniper, it's not like 90% of it's about the scout aspect, the reconnaissance aspect of it. It's 10% is shooting. So great scout snipers are extremely disciplined and can navigate, through tough terrain and get in position, but they're generally just reporting back to higher headquarters on enemy disposition, composition, and strength. So shooting's just a little part of being a scout sniper. I did not go, I guess I want to be clear, I was the platoon commander, but I was not designated a scout sniper. I just managed the team.
Sure, understood.
I love if I can just say a comment, I love listening to military people talk about their craft, especially when they use words like neutralizing the enemy and things like that, where I don't know is there
we
a
are
reason,
such little girls listening to this, aren't we?
Is there a reason they do that, Andrew? Is it to sort of just I don't know, to tone down the rhetoric, if you will, to keep the emotion sort of clear because you've got an objective and they want you thinking in terms of your tactics and your strategy and things like that?
Yeah, I mean, it's very doctrine based. So when you talk about neutralizing, that means 10% of the objective, the enemy objective is incapacitated. You start talking about destruction, I think it's 30% incapacitated. So every word, words mean thing in the military. It's not like they just use it to inoculate, what you're talking about.
And then of course you use words like snafu and things like that when things aren't going well. I don't know.
Well, yeah, it's not a doctrine term, but it's certainly used.
See, we use words on this podcast that don't mean anything. So you know what? We'll meet in the middle. We'll meet in the middle.
Right.
So after how many years were you in the Marine Corps?
I was in from May of 2005 through September of 2010. So
Wow.
63 months.
And then after the Marine Corps, where did your military career take you?
So like, things didn't work out where I could navigate myself back to MARSOC. The Marine Corps said, hey, you're going to go where the Marine Corps needs you.
Yeah.
And I was just like, if I can't go to MARSOC, I'm going to get out. And so I knew the head coach of the U.S. rowing team, and he had me pull a couple of tests. And like after my third deployment, like 2 weeks later, I'm down in Oklahoma City trying to make the U.S. team.
And were you like an alternate or something like that?
No, I didn't make it. Like I got beat in a seat race in the 8, and then I went to pair trials, and
But you're still better looking than the people that you competed against, so you've got that going for you.
Andrew, I have a question for you.
I mean, that counts.
I have a question for you. So when you did go back, I know you went right from military to rowing, but we hear oftentimes veterans have a hard time getting back into civilian life and acclimating. Did you have any issue with that? Did you have any experience with trying to adapt back to civilian life after being in the military for that long?
No, I think because it was like a very team-oriented sport where it was, I didn't have any challenges that way. I still have challenges today where it's, I work for a publicly traded company, so it's like, sometimes it's difficult for me to understand, like, I don't know if I can explain it, but it's
you don't even need to work
mission.
for the military to understand. I don't have a military background, and I'm still scratching my head sometimes about public companies, so don't worry about it.
Are you but you went back into the military?
Yeah, so I was didn't make the Olympics, and I got called back for I think the next year or two. They wanted me to keep training, but just culturally it wasn't like a good fit for me. It did remind me of collegiate rowing, and I had aspirations of being a special operations guy, and so I was looking after, I guess 4 weeks after I stopped rowing in 2012, I reached out to a recruiter, and I was like too senior of a captain to go active duty special forces or take selection to do that. And I didn't know there was National Guard special forces, but there was a tryout.
Tell us about that.
So the recruiter, I'm too senior of a captain, but he's like, hey, you can go the guard route, and that doesn't mean as much. Guard's a little bit different than active duty. And so I went down to some place in Chicago and did like a 4-day, I think they call it SFRE, Special Forces. I don't know, it's called SFRE. And so it's a prep to see if you're capable to actually go to the Special Forces selection. And I was pretty fit at that time, so it wasn't like extremely challenging for me. And so I ended up doing that, and like I just waited about a year for my commission to get transferred over from the Marine Corps to Army, and then I did selection in August of 2013.
And then didn't you have to try out again for this Special Forces group?
Yes, whether you're active duty or guard. So you have first group, third group, fifth group, seventh group, 10th group that are the active duty Special Forces groups. And they have 19th and 20th. So I was with A220, and we all go to the same selection course. It's like a 3-week, physical training event where they, test your, mental fortitude and physical fitness and
what does that look
skills.
Like? What does the mental fitness piece of it look like? Because I could use some of that.
You can look stuff up on the internet, like SF selections 3 weeks long. A lot of it's like individually focused land navigation where you're out like, all day and night, like trying to get to a certain point. And then there's a team week where you get like, I don't know, like a wheel, some lashing, some pipe, a 55 barrel, or a 55-gallon drum with water in it, and you have to get it from point A to B. and so that's really like test your ability to like be like a
Resourceful.
teammate, and yeah.
What was lashing? What the hell does that mean?
Well,
Rope.
in
So-
voice, it's lashing like
rope.
you're creating,
Rope.
you're lashing two poles together. We learned
Oh,
that
okay.
in
Scouts.
Scoutcraft.
There's
Yeah.
a scout
thing,
guy.
yeah.
So you were accepted into this program.
Yeah, and so once you're done, you go to something called the Special Forces Qualification Course, and based on your military occupation, specialty, or job, like it took me 2 years to get through it. Like medics are the longest; it takes them 3 years because they have some prep, like prior, like medical training they have to do before they actually go to the Q course. Yeah, so I was down at Fort Bragg for 2 years.
And how many people are a part of this team?
I think the attrition rate somewhere is around 80, like don't quote me on this, maybe around 88%, like people are attrited. So it's not an easy course to go through. A lot of people just don't make it through.
But once you make it, you're part of a team. What is that called? A company? I mean, I don't know the terminology.
So yeah, after you finish the Special Forces Qualification Course, you go to a ODA, Operational Detachment Alpha. It's a 12-man team. You have an 18 Alpha, which is the team commander, which is what I did. You have a 180 Alpha, who's a warrant officer who he's like the SME on fusing intelligence and operations. You have a 18 Zulu, who's the team sergeant. He basically runs the team. Like the 18 Zulu is down and in, and then the 18 Alpha, what I did was like up and out. And then you have two 18 Bravos, that are Special Forces Weapons Sergeants, two 18 Charlies, Special Forces Engineer Sergeants, two 18 Deltas, Special Forces Medics, and then two 18 Echoes, Special Forces Communication guys.
Oh my God.
So Andrew, did you ever see 13 Hours in Benghazi or The Secret Soldiers of Benghazi?
Yeah, I've read the book. I've watched the movie.
Is that what ultimately you wanted to do when you signed on to become a military contractor, maybe to get deployed at some of those special missions to help around the globe?
Those guys are civilians that are under contract that generally have like special operations background, but that's not a military arm. Like they get out and they go do that job.
Okay. There, yeah, I saw that. Yeah, like John Krasinski's character, for example, worked in insurance or something in the civilian life, but then he wanted to go help and earn some extra money that way. So that makes sense. And you are on the National Guard full time, so you're fully active.
So what I did, like, you know, the general like reservist or National Guard is like 1 week a month, 2 weeks a year, where SF Guard is a lot more time consuming, like deploying quite a bit. But it's not 100% of me being dedicated to like being a full-time military officer.
Where did those deployments take you as part of this group?
My first one, it's something called a JSET, so it's a little bit shorter, but I was on the border of Panama and Colombia, doing something called the JSET, Joint Combined Exchange Training. So we're working with the Panamanian Special Operations, you know, probably mostly focused on counter narco trafficking. The second one I did like a full 6-month, 7-month deployment. Did a counter ISIS mission on the border of Lebanon and Syria. Did another JSET to Slovakia in 2019. My most recent one was another like longer deployment throughout Northwest Africa, doing like counter ISIS, counter Al Qaeda.
I am just blown away by this. You got a question,
So
Steve?
I want to kind of bring some together here. So obviously, Andrew, you're a dedicated career person. You know exactly what you're doing. From John's perspective, you're a tall, strapping guy. You're very capable of what you know, your athleticism and all that stuff. What we're interested in here, what I want to know about, because I don't know you, but I want to know, given your travels, given your military experience, given all the people you've worked through and met and teams you've been a part of, what have you taken from this? What kind of nuggets are you getting about life and about
And the way to treat people and
like
those type of things.
What can you share with us from the Kindness Chronicles perspective about what it means to be a military person in a modern world and in experiencing the very modern military? You know, we have a lot of romantic ideals about World War II and all the past wars and stuff, but and the fighting and all this stuff. I just would like to know, from a modern perspective, what are the nuggets you're getting from your experience with this now that you've had bunch of years to think about it and be a part of it?
I think the biggest thing for me is, like, especially being a Green Beret, so a 12-man ODA can train up to, like, we always have a partner force, train up to 1,000, a battalion of partner folk people. And like, you go to countries with just different cultural and religious ideologies,
Mm-hmm.
and you got to figure out a way to, like, build a relationship immediately.
Yeah.
And like, having, like, probably the greatest thing I've learned is just having a better appreciation of humanity. Like, even guys that I fought, like, I can respect them, but if you're going to try to hurt one of my teammates, like, we're going to hurt you first.
Mm-hmm.
But just being fair to people and being able to put yourself in other people's shoes is probably the most important thing I've learned.
Yeah, I when I tell you I admire this guy.
I know you do.
And he was this little punk once upon a time, and he's in many respects become kind of a hero, especially of the boys in my family.
It's awesome.
Like, my kids look at cousin Andrew and they just are awestruck by how cool he is. And this is one, you showed up one Christmas and something had happened, and I don't know if you were jumping out of a plane or what the deal was, but you lifted up your shirt and showed us, like, did you land in a cactus or something? And I think it was just an excuse to show us your abs.
Sorry.
I think it was just an excuse to show the ladies what was going on under your shirt. But what happened? That was quite an interesting.
So this is before Slovakia trip. We were supposed to go over there and, like, train them. I was, like, on a military free fall team, and we're down in, I think it was Eloy, Arizona. You got to get something that's called level 1 certification. So it's like a nighttime jump with night vision goggles on, oxygen mask, rifle across your chest, and, like, a 100-pound ruck between your legs. And you're jumping at, 13,000 feet. You pull at 12,000 feet, and then you're under canopy for, like, 30 minutes until you hit the drop zone. And my NVG shut down, like, immediately after my canopy opened.
Night vision
and,
goggles.
Like, I got on the radio, and I'm like, I have zero airworthiness, guys. So I had my altimeter and my GPS, which would give me glide ratio. I made it all the way back to the drop zone. I couldn't see anything because it was, like, zero illumination, and there was one tree on the drop zone, and I slammed in that thing at, like, 25 miles an hour, pulled, like, a stick out of my stomach and broke 2 ribs.
Oh.
So for that reason, I'm out. I just,
What he said, 100-pound pack on you, that's right there. You're falling with 100 pounds on top
as I look
of you.
at ourselves in these cameras, you and I both have a couple of 100-pound packs on us, but that's a whole nother situation. Yeah. So he shows up at Christmas, and he's like been gouged in the gut. Mm-hmm. And I thought, you know what? I am not built for that kind of work. Yeah. And you're still in the military, correct?
Yeah, I am. I got a year and a half left before I can retire.
Okay, and as I understand, what rank are you sitting at these days?
I'm a major now. If I'm looking at a new position, maybe I'll pick up lieutenant colonel before I get out, but it's not really my focus.
No, and the thing that I think is interesting is your dad had mentioned something about the fact that you wanted to stay in the field, and once you make major, they start changing the rules on you a little bit.
Yeah, I just wanted to be a team leader and be the guy that jumps out of aircraft and shoots. So I turned down promotion for about 4 years, and then finally they said, you have to pick it up or you're going to get out.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
So how old are you now?
43.
Yeah, so you're 43, and you still wanted to be jumping out of planes at 43, even though you can run into trees at 25 miles an hour. You were a different cat, Andrew.
Andrew, I was telling, before we called you, I told John I've got a nephew that went to West Point, and
nice.
He just graduated. He's now deployed. I think he's in right now he's in the desert of California with no anything. He just communication and no communication, nothing. And he's leading a team, I think, for 30 days or something like that. I don't know the full details. It's sort of classified, but
he's at something called NTC. I know where it is. It's not too far from where I was based as a Marine.
Awesome. So, I was telling John when he was growing up, he was this guy that loved Army men, and he would voluntarily go take a hammock and go sleep in the woods at night just to kind of see if he could do it. And were you like that? What was your origin story to be interested in the military? I forgot to ask that at the beginning.
I don't know. I've always had like a pretty always looking for adventure, I think.
Yeah, we're different there.
Yeah, we didn't travel. Like, we went to California maybe a few times as a kid because my grandparents had an apartment on Oceanside.
But did you climb trees and pick up snakes, and were you just fearless that kind of way and didn't, wanted to pursue the tougher life, if you will?
I don't know. Like, I'm certainly not fearless. But I did a lot of different sports growing up. Like, I would try rock climbing, I tried ski jumping, I played baseball, basketball, hockey. So I just liked experiencing like new adventures, and that's probably kind of the driver outside of my family or our family, John's and our family having a background in the military.
Well, before I turn it back, I'm looking at your picture here. We've had it up on the monitor a couple times. Let me show it to the guys again. Thank you for your service. Very sincere thank you. I know it's like sacrifice. So,
well, as it is Veterans Day, what I admire about Andrew more than anything is, he could have helped me. He did help me pick up chicks when I was younger, and he was like a young guy.
Called him Cruiser.
You know what, John?
What?
You know what, John? Even being a young kid, I knew what you were doing. Exactly.
I know you did. I know you did.
Exploiting my.
But here's what's funny: I could still use him today to pick up chicks.
Yeah, it's true.
You know what? Honest to God, it is funny though. Him and his brother. I mean, these two little punks, and they knew exactly what was up my sleeve. And the best part was, they played along with it.
That's awesome.
Like, I think they actually got cuter when they knew
grift.
That,
yeah,
it was a total grift,
a family grift,
a true wingman.
Yeah, that's what do you do now? So you're out in what are you doing in DC?
So I work for a publicly traded construction company, and I travel probably 3 weeks out of the month. And so it got to a point where it's like, you can live wherever you want. You just need to be near a hub. And my goal is to get back to Annapolis. I don't know if you've been there. It's a very beautiful town. So I'm just kind of buying my time until I can find a place in the Annapolis area.
So that's the plan, is ultimately to live in Annapolis?
Yeah.
That's very cool. Annapolis. Have you been to Annapolis?
I have not.
I actually used to sell textbooks there in one of my first jobs,
Oh,
believe it or
nerd
not.
alert.
Door to door?
It was to the professors.
Hey,
and
would
it
you
was
like
one
to
of
buy
my
a textbook?
It was one of my favorite places to visit, but I worked for West Publishing, so it wasn't completely nerdy. But
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Annapolis, Maryland.
Oh, it's just beautiful. Hey, one last question about when you were at the Naval Academy. When we took a tour of the Naval Academy, there was they showed a couple of things. One is that you had to jump from this high platform into a pool. I'm assuming you did that.
Yes, you do that second class year, junior year. It's to simulate like jumping off a ship. And so if you don't do it, then you get kicked out. So everyone has to jump off the 10-meter platform.
Okay. So I would have been out. And in addition to that, did you guys do the deal where you climb the pole and tried to, like, is that at the end of freshman year?
Yeah, it's called Mount Herndon, I think it's called. It's kind of fun story on that one. So they put it like all in lard, and you have your plebe cover, and your job is as a team is to climb to the top and take off the sophomore, the new cover. And like I got to the top, and some girl like grabbed my leg and like pulled me down.
Come on,
up the top.
Lard.
Yeah, I
didn't care.
But it looks it's kind of like the Washington Monument, not quite that tall, obviously.
Wow. Yeah.
Slippery
Wow.
and
Jeez.
ridiculous.
And is it do the upperclassmen, are they the ones that are responsible for gooing it up with lard and all that stuff?
Yeah, I mean, like generally, like every plebe has like a couple second classmen that are going to yell at them and try to teach them discipline. But yeah, I think they're the ones that put the lard on it.
Well, my cousin Jeannie has a son that is a senior this year at the Naval Academy, Matthew, and
Nice.
he's just a great kid. I remember just over the years, just a lovely, really cool family. The kids all went to St. Thomas Academy. Oh, good for you. But they went to St. Thomas Academy. Two of them are still there, but Matthew got into the Naval Academy and is doing very well from what I understand. And I can't wait to have him on. I think he wants to be a at what point do they determine what you're going to do in the Corps? Or in the Navy?
Commissioning night, right? Do they have that at the Naval Academy?
Yeah, you have to do something called pre-commissioning your junior year, and then it's generally in the fall of your senior year where you service select. You get interviewed by the different branches, different MOSs or whatever, and based on your order of merit, you either get what you want or you don't.
And order of merit is based on what?
There's academics and then military order of merit. And so you have like a combined like GPA from what I recall. And that's how you get racked and stacked.
Okay, so it's not like the sorting hat from Harry Potter. You probably didn't see that. You're too busy reading
I haven't
books.
seen that.
Of course you haven't. You're too busy reading books and
Rowing.
rowing. Well, anyway, Andrew, I just want to thank you for taking the time for being with us. Absolutely admire you. Always have, even from the time you were 3. Again, I'm grateful that you made time to be on with us today, and we're going to sign off. And again, happy Veterans Day, and thank you for your service.
Thank
sir.
you, Andrew.
Great meeting you, Andrew. Thank you.
It's fun chatting with you guys. Have
All
a good
right,
one.
off we go. See you, buddy.
Bye.
Cool guy.
Mm-hmm.